Who are your favorite trolls? So my favorite trolls are the ones that take the time to comment, sit there and say, oh, there's a war going on, or you should go do charity. You know, the X situation's happening, and why aren't you dealing with that? I'm like, okay, you're here writing a comment to someone you hate and you don't want to see their content. So why don't you go get your ass to a soup kitchen? Stat. You brought up the Kardashians, which is a very specific example because they own their intellectual property. They own large pieces of their shows. So if that show gets sold from one entity to another and keeps airing, they keep making money. And they're building up intellectual property by doing those shows that they own. Housewives and People on the Hills are building intellectual property that they don't own. And just because you can exploit someone who's young and would die for the fame and give them a contract that will lock them in forever doesn't mean you should. Contracts are there to protect people. They're not there to be used as weapons to trap people in bad deals. So 15 years ago, did I know that a show called Manhattan Moms would be what it is today? Absolutely not. I was smart enough to sign something that said that I would never give a piece of my business, but I would take the small salary. But they created a Bethenny clause, something that reality stars have to sign saying that they'll give a piece of their business. So not giving a back end isn't enough. They want to take pieces of these people's business also, which I am going to definitely fight to revoke. The Bethenny clause, named after me, should be removed immediately. And people should have a back end. It's not unlike Schitt's Creek on a small network that doesn't do that well, and then it goes over to a big streamer. No one called Eugene Levy to ask him about that deal. The entity that owns it to begin with goes and sells it, and these actors don't make the money on it, just like the Gilmore Girls. So you have no idea how many people have reached out to me about this who want to band together, some who are scared of their NDAs. And back to contracts being not used as weapons, think about the Harvey Weinstein girls and Miramax. They didn't open their mouths because of a contract they signed. Well, people are stronger than ink on a piece of paper. The Kardashians own and produce their own shows as commercials for their own brands, also as safe spaces where they can never get in too much trouble and ruin their reputations and their own personal brands. Their shows are designed to protect them. It's very different than any of these other situations where the talent has zero power and is exploited. Just because you can exploit talent doesn't mean you should. Someone asked me if I only eat bread and chicken salad and if I ever cook. The answer is I do eat other things. I get obsessed with things and I crave certain things. I don't eat the same thing every day, but I go in these phases of things that I love, like many of you. And do I cook? I don't cook a lot. Let me explain. I love food. My whole entire life, I've been a foodie. As a kid, there was some hysteria in my house, and if my mother, who is an excellent cook, cooked, it was the best food, but there was often smashed dishes and screaming, and it was a stressful situation. So we ate out a lot, every night of my childhood. I've never told anyone this. Every night of my childhood, we ate out. And so that's why I knew about food really young. My stepfather would take us to 4 towns over to get the best piece of pizza or the cannolis, or, we'd go to the Spumoni Garden in Brooklyn for the Spumoni and also for the Sicilian pizza. We would go to Bobby Rubino's and that other rib place. I've been on a plane to go get barbecue. I've flown to get barbecue. So it's always been insane about food in my life and my childhood, which is why I love it. So as I got older, I got into health and went to school for food and healing. I went to the Natural Gourmet Institute. And I think, And what happened was, you know how they say if you meet your idols, don't meet your idols? Understanding how to cook all that food and knife skills and all that stuff kind of ruined food for me. Why? Because it made it a laborious process. I don't love smelling like onions, cleaning up, cooking. You're eating something and you're kind of sick of it because you've been making it. And I don't love to cook that much. I'm actually pretty decent at it. But I don't love it that much because I don't love all of the foreplay and aftermath. I just don't love it. I don't. And so that's why this is a dirty little secret of mine. And after working in different restaurants, I got really turned off. I'm sorry to chefs. I give them so much credit. And they make it look so easy. But like, I don't love cooking anymore. I'm in a lot of trouble, and I think I'm being canceled. I did something very wrong. So I get sent a lot of makeup to try, to test. And makeup brands are very, very generous with how much they send. They'll send it in every shade because they want to make sure that you like the product and that you've gotten the right shade. So in some cases, I'll open a box and it rips the box a little bit, and then I'll look at a shade to see if it's right for me and determine it's not right. Now we have a ripped box. So it's not new, it's not used, but I don't need it because I don't need 3 concealers and 3 shades. I need 1 concealer and 1 shade, if that. Same thing with 7 pinky nude lip glosses. I don't want them to go to waste. I think they're beautiful. I do give them to my staff and my assistant and other people, and I always have bags in my car for random acts of kindness. If someone's nice to me, I just hand them something. So I certainly don't need all 3 of these. So I will open it up, put it on my hand, maybe put it on my lips, not from the applicator because I know that I'm going to give it away. And then what I do is I have a whole big bin or bag that I keep all the things that I'm not going to use but that are perfectly good. And then I take Ziplocs and I separate them. So each kit will have like a foundation, a lip, a powder, etc. And I was at TJ Maxx and the women were complimenting some of the things I bought. Oh, that's so nice. I want to get that. I wish I could afford it. So I went back there with this big bag of probably like $1,000 in makeup. So I came to TJ Maxx with my daughter because the women who work here are so nice and they're always complimenting me on what we buy. So I wanted to bring them some of the leftover makeup that I just try, like open up and put in a giveaway pile, but it's all brand new. So we brought over the giveaway stuff and I put it all in separate little bags for my friends here. So you'll meet them soon. So this is my friend who compliments my purchases. What's your name? Consuela. Okay, so I've got some goodies for you in here. So I put them in separate bags, like so it's like got separate like eyeshadow, brushes, lip, whatever. But I'm gonna give you the whole thing and you can give it out to your friends. But they're all things that have been opened once and like not used, but they're good and fancy and expensive. Okay?
A lot of trouble for taking it.
No, you won't. I'll talk to corporate. You're not gonna get in trouble. Why would you get in trouble? Don't worry.
We're not allowed to take any kind of gratuity or gifts.
Oh my God. All right, Consuela, I'm going to message TJ Maxx on the Instagram and they're going to make an exception, okay? Don't worry, they'll come reach out to you because the people are going to speak. Okay, Consuela, you're the best. All right, I'm messaging TJ Maxx because Consuela's getting that stuff. All right, hopefully they'll make an exception. Otherwise, I don't know what she's going to do with that stuff. Maybe she'll drop it off at a shelter, but I really would like it to go to her because she's lovely and they're always looking and complimenting what I get. And they have a policy where they can't accept it. Luckily, Restoration Hardware doesn't have that policy. And I brought over the same bag that I got back from TJ to Restoration Hardware. But it's been all over the worldwide internet that I'm really cheap, which maybe I actually am because I don't waste anything. So that I'm really cheap and that, what is it called? White savior complex. So people like to use these really big woke words and terms like narrative and gaslighting just to act like they're really smart. So I may have white savior complex because I brought perfectly good, unused but opened makeup to people that I don't think would be able to buy this level of makeup on their own. So I guess I'm being canceled. What shall we all do? Thoughts and prayers.